I'm still muted. Thank you. It's been a long month. We played a little bit of this one once before. This is basically a just kind of two-color good stuff deck. It's just like playing kind of the best value engines and card draw in red and orange. Notably at the top end, one of the things we get by being red and orange is we get a combination of both Stairway to Hades here, which brings back your units when they die if they're not a demon and makes them frenzy. And we also get to play to Heaven and back. So this does a similar effect, but brings it back if it's not an angel. So you can use some of your more powerful minions 2 or even 3 times if you manage to find both Stairway to Hades and to Heaven and back. So it generates a lot of good value as you go late and makes your threats very sticky and difficult to deal with. So I've got an orange 1-drop here. So if I want to play that out, which looks like I do, I want to probably just trade off with theirs 1 for 1. I'm going to burn this Dark Passenger here and deploy Eager Recruit in the middle. Same card they just played. This is a staple in basically most of the orange decks in this game. It's a 2-1 for 1 that when it comes into play, it makes a 1-1 for you. Very good. Both a card that's good at applying pressure if you're an aggressive deck, but also good at helping you control the board if you're a mid-range deck playing against an aggro deck. Since I burned an orange card on 1, I have double red cards I'm looking to play on 3, so I'm going to want to make sure I'm burning red cards for the next 2 turns. Because again, the way the resource system in this game works, this is the total cost of resources you need, and these are the specific gems of those colors.
A mission. Do we have a mission?
So they put their 1/1s on the sides. Their 2/1 trades for my 1/1. That's a pretty good exchange for me. So gigantomachia, banish all minions with health 4 or more. Probably don't need that at the moment, so I'm going to go ahead and burn that off. I think I'm going to go ahead and deploy shopworn bull over here, which will be able to eat their 1/1 inside of combat. It also draws a card and then shuffles a card from my hand back into my deck every turn. Extract Life really isn't all that useful, and I've already burned this card. You can't burn a card a second time, so I'm going to get rid of it. One of the reasons why Shopworn Bull is actually really good is because of his ability to do what I just did there, which is get rid of a card that's already been burned if you still don't need it. Obviously, this is a card game, so it's not no variance, but probably one of the biggest pieces of variance in this game is the fact that you can redraw cards that you've burned quickly. You guaranteed don't draw a card that you burned next turn, but you could draw it down the line. Burned cards get inserted randomly back into your deck, specifically not on top. Peri at the Gates is an incredible value engine. It's a 2/2 that when it comes into play, it draws a card, and then we get to look at the top 2 cards of our deck and draw one of them. Activate my bull. You get to see a lot of cards every game with this deck. I'm going to shuffle Lavish Proxy back in, because it's kind of an expensive card that's good when we're low on health, and when we have a nice healthy total here, not really interested in that. I already burned a card this turn, right? Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Looking through the balance changes that they did yesterday, I was pretty happy with almost all the balance changes that they posted. Thought they did a really good job with them. So this is a 3/2 that's getting bigger because of their artifact over here. And it says when it dies, it makes an Eager Recruit, which is the 2/1 that makes them more things. Huh? I might just Seal of Exile this. So this banishes the card. Oh, they had one in their hand. That's really good for us. So it's like a super removal spell. It banishes a minion and then it gets rid of all copies of that minion out of your opponent's hand, deck, and discard pile. But notably, it makes me lose a maximum mana and an orange threshold. So I kind of 2 for 1 myself. But because I got one out of their hand, it was actually a 2 for 2, which is nice. Perfect. I don't need Ringmaster just yet, and I'm interested in getting another orange back since I just lost one, so let's burn that off. It's not about balance, it's just different than surgical because it impacts the board. So it has a surgical style effect, but it also impacts the board, which is the way it differs. Haven't been around much due to Thanksgiving prep, but I've been watching on YouTube. Wishing you a happy weekend and Thanksgiving if I can't pop in between now and then. Sounds good, Squid Squad. Thanks for being here. And I'm planning, I don't know what if you have watching time around the holidays, I'm planning to be live for a little bit next week around the holiday, for sure. All right, so wheel here suppresses opposing enchantments. My opponent doesn't have any enchantments, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this for now. I think I'm going to go ahead and deploy Stairway to Hades. And I can activate this. Probably don't need double Panic Reader at this point. And then if I can smack in here, Stairway to Hades brings it back into play. And then it's a new instance of this card, so I can go ahead and draw with it again. And don't need the enchantment suppression. Oh, they were coming towards healing their things. The bookkeeping on this card always gets me. Frequently miss what it's about to do. So it would have been better off not attacking in because I effectively only attacked for one. The way it ended up trading off, basically. So my next turn's probably going to be Oak plus Firesong Prodigy, I think. We'll probably attack. If they attack this down to 2 toughness, I'll trade it off. And then we'll draw with it before we do that, and we'll put the Oak on the Stairway to Hades. Huh? You could have attacked twice with the bull, once to kill the recruiter, and then once to kill the face. Well, it doesn't have haste when it comes in. It doesn't have rush. So that was not an option. We drew Magmataur, which was an excellent draw. So I get to play this here, and it does 3 damage to everything in the opposing 3 lanes. So it comes in and crushes both of these things. And then this gets to hit their face twice very cleanly. And then I want to make sure I burn a card this turn. This deck tends to want to get up to all the way to 10 resources, which is the max. This is a little bit more mid-rangey / controlling than the last deck we were playing, which frequently only got to like 7 or 8. So we're ahead on board, but my opponent's hand is also full. Misanthropia, yep. So both my minions are going to get -3/-3 every turn until they die.
Hey there.
Hey there. I'm going to slide this off of here because I would like to put something else on here that can die this turn. Panic Raider is going to come in and smack them in the face. Dark Passenger's not bad. I think I want to play the Oak of Dodona out here. So I'm going to burn a Cyclops and then play this out over here. Activate this to draw a card. This wheel is like glued to our hand, chat. So this is still blighted, so next turn it'll get -3/-3 again and then die. If they don't deploy anything particularly scary over here that we can't attack through, this will die when it hits them, and then, ooh, that card's real good. Creates a 2/2 Alpha Striking Viper across from every one of your opponent's things. And they banished my thing, so I don't get to get it back. That's unfortunate. And these have Alpha Strikes, so they'll just kill my thing outright. Huh? I think I'm starting by playing Peri at the gates here.
Fortune favors us.
So it draws a card. Perfect. So Seal gets rid of all copies of a thing with the same name. So again, we lose a resource to do that, but we get rid of their snakes, which were otherwise very much in the way. Yeah, this is one of the cards they rebalance. So it was previously unplayable, and I think it's now very good. They are both bigger and have Alpha Strike, even if the card costs a little bit more. I'm not sure how I feel about the ifreets in this build. They're pretty chunky bodies, but like losing life when we draw cards is not always great. Yep, we got rid of the ring because we were able to hit their face with the 4-3 there, so good turn overall. Yeah, the patch notes are huge. Like, they redesigned... a number of the cards are effectively new cards, which I think is really sweet. I like that they're trying to, like, make as many cards as possible constructed playable. And they're not just doing that by, like, nerfing things that are too good. Hey, they've got, like, 10 whole employees, okay? I'm sure WotC will catch up to them eventually.
A good life.
Alright, so that's kind of problematic. I guess it's not actually. I have Scion of the Pride. So this thing says they can't die as long as it's in play. But I think we just elk it, basically. Not to give any magic players. But this gives me a spell which turns something into a 4-4. So it's like, just gone, basically, by Felicia. Play ifreet out here, which when it comes into play, I divination 3. And I'm going to take the extract life here. Gives me a solid removal spell. My opponent doesn't have another misanthropia. They're going to be in a lot of trouble. Even if they do have a misanthropia or a Gidden Angel, this is going to get to come back and draw some more cards, which is huge. You'd open up a music park, would it be called Hoagland Land or just Hoogland? Hooglandia, obviously. Naturally. That's the Hooglandia is the brand, chat. Wonder Drug's real good. Get to gain 8, draw 2 here. They could still burn a yellow card and play Misanthropia this turn. That costs 5 in triple yellow.
Fortune favors us.
Yep, they got a block here, but like putting Peri in front of here means that I get to trade here, which lets my Peri trigger and draw 2 cards when it comes back on the Stairway to Hades. Oh, that's good too. All right, well, let's do this, which makes this come back and it draws 2 cards. Yeah, I'll take a giant. I can have this kill this for free. I can have this kill this. I can have this hit their face. And then honestly, I think I'm just playing to heaven and back out here in the middle. Because, like, they need a sweeper at this point. So, like, I want to just make my board as insulated against the sweeper as possible, I think.
Wanna burn?
Although I suppose if they're setting up for a sweeper, this is not going to come back because it's already come back once. This one will pop back up at least. Yeah, they must have joined the queue infinite ago, Sir Sparkles. They still have Field of the Dead. Alright, there's Misanthropia. So a lot of my stuff's going to die next turn. This will draw a card when it dies. This will come back to my hand, though. Okay, there's a Seal Exile, so I don't get that one back. Sure. There's my Oak triggering. I would love to draw Cerberus. I'm going to deploy Cerberus over here. I'm going to hit them for 1. I'm going to play this dork in the middle. Again, just like my board state's going to like immediately pop back up to a point where they like need to sweep or have interaction. And even then, these 2 are going to be resistant. Hey, Frankly, thank you for the very generous tier 2 resub. And for the half a year at that. Hope you're having a great start to your weekend. Happy Friday. Is Fire Eater playable in Burn after the nerf? It's probably still playable. It's definitely worse, obviously. I would err on the side of playable. So, I'm actually going to have... Huh? Well, that's actually just a very good draw. So there's things are currently fragile because they're in winter. So I get to go magmataur here, which kills this and knocks this to 1. And then I get to ignition to finish this, and then this attacks all 3 lanes, so it hits them for 9. Does 3, 3, 3. Look at that. We complete another faction mission. I'd like to claim my prizes. I don't think I've cleared any of the full all the way through yet. Deal 99 damage with vampires. If you're someone that's looking into this game and interested in free-to-play or getting the most rewards in addition to what you're spending, clearing your way through these faction missions is definitely the best way to do that. I've got a pretty stock collection at this point, so I'm not super worried about it personally, but if you're looking to farm goodies, that's definitely the best place to start farming goodies. Well, my deck has 2 different shards in it, I swear. In the patch notes, they increased your coin cap based on how much money you've spent. It's an interesting way. Seems like a good way to encourage people. So you can earn extra rewards by playing if you put a little bit of actual dollars in. That'll, depending on like what the thresholds are like, if like you get good value for like spending $10, I bet that'll encourage more people to buy the starter pack.
All right.
Whale noises here. Yep. They raised it by 1k coins for every $1. Okay, sure. Seems reasonable. This is a 2/2 for 1 that it gets a healing potion in their hands. So they can heal one of their minions later. Again, units don't automatically recover life in this game like in Magic. It sticks on them. Play my 2/1 out here, which will trade here and leaves behind a 1/1 as value. It's a little sad. Okay, so now we're trading 1 for 1. Purple blue, huh? Interesting.
Mission.
After buying the starter, the max is 60k coins. 60k coins is like a lot of coins, right? That's, packs are 1,200, so 60k coins is, that's a sizable number of things. I'm gonna burn the 7-ring ritual and deploy an ifreet over here. This is my 4/4 thunk. Yeah, I'll take a stairway to Hades.
Attune then.
That's rough. So this gives their minions a free move action, and this has teleport, so when it moves, it can move to anywhere. Yep. And when this hits me, it deals 2 to something. Huh? I'm just gonna drop another ifreet over here, I think. Ghul sounds good. Burn the bull. Pass. Wouldn't be surprised. Oh, this is currently fragile. Silly winter. So they can trade this here. I think that's still the play, but it's less good now. Stairway is brutal. Gemma just gives their stuff +3/+3. Feels kind of dead. Impel plus Shinobi is real good. Very reasonable. Yeah, I don't really have any great plays here. I guess I can like play Shopworn Bull and dig for a card, and then I can Dark Passenger this. I'm supposed to burn one of these, so instead of keeping both. So like, this is deadly, so like when they attack in, these will trade and I'll draw another card. But like, I don't have a way to interact with this stairway. Yeah, Historic was a good breath of fresh air for Arena DMS. Really, really hope who's ever in charge at Wizards of the Coast figures out that they're better served by leaning into having lots of formats rather than running away from it. That was gross. So they played Horn, which lets them give all their minions a standard action. And then they attack twice with this to deal two twice. And they had Magnus over here. God, that did not feel particularly close. Their deck was sweet. Is there an easy way to import someone's deck list from a replay chat? Is there a way to do that? Or do I have to like manually piece it together? You can click back in here to see the replay. So here's their deck and their hand. Is there a way to copy this? Does anybody know?
All right.
Reporting.
I don't think so. That would be. People had asked me like, what are my feature requests? That would be really nice to be able to do. So you could. This is a replay of the game that we just played where we got thrashed because the small indie product has a full replay system because it's awesome software. And you can see I can click here and see both players in the deck editor. There's play and pause buttons here. You can skip forward. You can skip single actions. You can make it faster. It would be nice to be able to copy and paste deck lists though. Let's play another couple with our orange-red deck. Maybe we'll go back and actually piece that together. That blue-purple deck seems sweet. Yeah, this is fine. Burn a ghul, play eager recruit. They've got disc and they've got smite as their power, so I imagine they're probably playing some kind of reanimator strategy, which actually means if I would have taken a second and thought about what they were doing here, ghul banishes things from the boneyard. So I definitely should have not burned my ghul. That was a mistake. Ghul's a hate card here.
All right.
So I'm actually going to wait to play this out because I don't want them to know this is coming. And I want to give them a chance to kill it before I can banish their thing. Purple-green reanimator. Perfect grade. Got an upgrade recently. So next turn, I'm going to burn the To Heaven and Back to get my second orange. We'll play ghul and we'll use ghul to clear out their 5/5. The way the reanimate cards in this game work, they always reanimate the bottom minion in the discard pile. So now their bottom minion's a 2/2, which is real mediocre. So if they are on a reanimate plan, it's going to be less potent for them this game now. I'm going to have to just play honest. You gotta do hard work and burn cards to get your fatties like the rest of us. Next turn, we'll probably burn the giant and get panic rated on it, start drawing some cards. Again, every time this hits, my opponent gets smaller, and then I draw a card and lose life.
Leave it all on the track.
That's a bizarre way to do reanimation. It's kind of neat. It's different than how Magic handles it. I think it's different in a way that's interesting as opposed to being.
Got anything good?
Got anything good? That is a new voice line. Reporting. Maybe I'm supposed to play this 1/1 out. Yeah, I think I'm actually supposed to play the 1/1 out over here next to this. So that way if they were to deploy something to block this, I could Dark Passenger the 1/1 and finish it off. Hopefully if they do have a blocker here, whatever they deploy to block will die to Magmataur next turn. What does the blue arrow signify? Which blue arrow? Oh, drag down activation on a card. Yep. That is what that signifies. So this is actually better. So it kind of sucks deploying Stairway to Hades all the way to the right, but I'm going to get to draw 2 cards here, and I'm kind of a sucker for drawing 2 cards. So we're going to play Stairway over here. That says when a minion dies here, it comes back into play with Frenzy. So I'm going to kill this. This is going to pop back up, and Frenzy lets it attack twice, so it gets to go ahead and just, like, immediately hit them for 3 and draw 2 cards. I forgot to attack with this. I was so excited by my Stairway to Hades and explaining what it did, I forgot to attack. Mistakes were made, chat. It'll be okay. We're gonna lose with them at 2 now. That is exactly how this works. I see you're not new here. Okay. To burn 2 cards, draw some cards, sure. Wow, they really don't have a lot that impacts the board, huh? I feel like with Panic Raider getting retooled to lose me life, I might actually want... This deck might want some life gain in it. It's definitely super, super shy on life gain as is.
Do we have a mission? Do we have a mission?
I feel like if Panic Raider is going to be chewing up my health total as well.
Can you see?
It's a pretty big one. I think we're just going to Seal Exile that. Then we get to run back the Panic Raider, draw 3 here. It costs us 3 life now, though. I don't know how I feel about this, chat. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. Probably okay, because I have a banished life. We'll put this guy here. He divinations 3 when he comes into play. I'm gonna take the Dark Passenger so we can clear out a blocker here nicely. Yeah, we found extract life, so if they play another chunky dork out, we can kill it and gain some life back. I think the Panic Raider change is good. I think tying the card draw in red to saying, hey, you gotta pay life to draw cards in this color makes a lot of sense. Panic Raider was pushed without that change, and even with the change, it's on theme. So, Dark Passenger here. That's why we kept it on top. Boop, boop, boop. Firesong Prodigy, kill you for Exexies. Not bad, .jpg. Dark Passenger is very, very good. Especially in conjunction with the 2-1 that makes another guy. A lot of really good clean ways to interact in a variety of different ways. I really like that, like, Hexproof and Magic's very obnoxious because of the way the combat system works, but like in this game, warded's not really a big deal because your units can still attack warded things. The Ghul was very good. It's funny, I actually burned a Ghul before I looked at what path you were playing, and I was like, oh, I'm glad I have this second one. Yeah, and Dark Passenger has counterplay depending on what units and what abilities and mechanics your other cards have. Stiggy! Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Hopefully they're not playing anything too aggressive. Our hand's a little bit slow. Definitely going to burn a Seal of Exile to start here. This is a card you generally don't want to be playing till later because it does 2 for 1 you. Losing that resource. Losing an extra resource on like turns like 4 through 7 tends to not be ideal. My opponent's playing Rainbow's End, which is a path that cares explicitly about enchantments. So drawing our wheel here is probably going to be very good. Hey, Elwins. You're, are you Australia or am I thinking of someone else? I know you're on a different part of the planet than me, if I recall correctly. Central Europe. Okay, I must have been thinking of someone else with Australia. So this guy is overstated, but he makes you lose life when you draw cards. And I think this or Panic Raider, one of those might need to go in this deck, or I might need to add a little bit more life gain. My opponent's also playing red-orange. They're playing an enchantment red-orange deck.
At last.
Smack your face. So I think my plan here is to drop Peri at the gates over here, and then they'll smack this for 4 and trample over a little bit, which they don't mind. And then I can play Magmataur out over here next turn to finish this off, which is nice. God, Peri makes us take 2 while this card's out too. Yeah, this card might have to get out of here now that Panic Raider costs us extra life.
Flame.
Yeah, I agree actually. I think that card's actually very playable. It's likely I think it was close to playable before the change. It's likely great after the change.
Flame. Take you.
Does it still make the annoying noise? Asking the real questions. That card was definitely on the list of ones that were a little bit more obnoxious.
Come in.
Yep. I think I prefer Raider. I'm also super biased though, because I just love drawing cards. As a connoisseur of drawing cards, I am biased towards Panic Raider. Alright, so Ifreet's actually not bad. They're down to 3 cards. Ifreet's actually kind of bad because her cost me life, right? So I think my plan is to slide this over here, wing slide it over again, then I can play this Dorko here, and then I'm gonna burn off Stairway to Hades and play Eager Recruit here, which gets Rush with this, so I can trade this here. So I dealt with that. This trades here. I need to deal with this Bull eventually, but we're getting closer back to board parity. I could, if this ringmaster lives, which is unlikely. They have 6 cards, or 6 resources into 4 cards. But if this lives, I could play this and it gets rushed next turn and then turn this into a 4/4 and eat it. Up to 7, huh? Lavish proxy. Okay, so now we're gonna run that play, but by killing the lavish proxy. So we'll do this. It gets rushed from the ringmaster. We'll pride that. This doesn't take damage from spirits, and it makes this thing a spirit, which is great. I haven't burned a card yet this turn. I wonder if they picked the wrong path for their deck. Maybe they just want the coin. They haven't played any enchantments yet. I think I want to hold on to lavish proxy because our health total is actually in danger of being a little low here. I'm going to burn a card for the turn, though.
Do we have a mission?
Burn the wheel. I don't know if I'm supposed to burn the wheel or not. I feel like I'm supposed to hold this just based on this, but I'm not sure. Eight resources. What are you working towards? Maybe the entire bottom half of their next enchantments, right? Like, I don't know. Yeah, correct. Yeah, it's not like I'm hurting for action either. People have been overestimating the coin in the Mythgard subreddit. It's entirely possible. Yeah, I don't think that path's playable if you don't have other things with it. Ooh, so Oak. Passenger. Oh, I'm currently fragile. Dang it, I always mess that up too. Alright, whatever, I don't care, I'm trading. I get to draw a card, and then I get to draw another card.
Wanna burn?
Wanna burn? Burn, baby, burn. Disco Inferno, do 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 do, beat do 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 do. You know, it's funny. I was just thinking I'm currently a little soft to get an angel. I guess that's actually not true. That's a mischaracterization of what's occurring. I could do this here, and then ignition this, and then burn this. Play Panic Raider, hit them. JK recovered just fine. Oh, that's a Stairway to Hades to pair with my Panic Raider. Do 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 beep beep do 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 do. That card's really good. Divinations. All right, what are we doing? I think we need a live hit at this point. Maybe I shouldn't have burned the other Panic Raider. Maybe I should have burned the wheel instead of the other Panic Raider at this point. Yeah, I think that was the line. I was supposed to burn the wheel instead of the other Panic Raider. Yes, yeah, this Mythgard had an update today, and the Twitch extension is part of the official client, so they were able to get that updated. Extract life, unfortunately, does not help here because this card is warded, so it does not take damage outside of combat. Man, all my plays kind of suck here. Like, I have a bunch of cards in my hand, but none of them are very good. I guess I just trade here. Yeah, I could just do that. But like, they draw a card, but then I get my 3/3 back. It doesn't feel very good, though. Like, I'm not doing anything else with my resources this turn. I just have nothing to do. This draws a card next turn, right? Yeah, we're coming up on fall. We're currently in summer. So I'll get two cards next turn, which is nice. That's true. It does come back with Frenzy, which is relevant. Man, I can't believe no one told me that my thing says Mythgard Construct and not Mythgard Constructed. Way to be, chat. Way to not fill me in. Do you even love me, chat? Yes, for someone that's asking why we didn't like wheel plus extract life, wheel only suppresses enchantments. How's the new UI? They're really small changes overall, but they seem good for the most part.
Do we have a mission?
That was a good draw. So I can hit twice, slide this over, put Cerberus here. And then I can put these recruits down over here to like get in the way. And like they gotta banish this basically, so they need to draw a Seal of Exile here. I don't think they've played any, yeah, they haven't played any seals, so they could have a few seals in their deck. If they can't banish this, it's gonna mess them up next turn. I have a removal spell to clear the way too, and this is still 3/3 with Frenzy. Are you dead yet? Rude.
The good life.
The good life.
Reporting.
Reporting. Are they giving up? Yep.
Do we have a mission?
Had a lot of gas left there at the end. Oh, do we have a vampire in this deck? We must have a vampire in this deck. I'll do one or two more with this, I think, and then we're going to call it a day. Thanks everybody for hanging out through the end. Hope you're having a wonderful Friday and a great start to your weekend. Need to think through and put together some new lists with some of the balance changes. Remember, I do take deck submissions for Mythgard stuff too. So if you have a specific deck list or an idea you'd like me to put together, you can submit those using the form on my website. It's $10 for subscribers to add something to the queue. Usually do Mythgard 2 days a week, so usually do 3, 4, 5 Mythgard decks a week, give or take, depending on what we get. Oh, the Oak's a vampire. Okay. You're right. I remember looking at it and going, weird vampire tree. Again, Seal of Exile is not a card you really want early, so I think that's one good to burn off.
All right.
I probably don't need Stairway right away. Let's burn that off for now. No 2-drop here feels a little medium. Usually keep it until you know they're playing. So usually if they're playing the Reanimator deck, you can tell by the path that they've selected. So like this opponent is playing Rainbow's End, and the Reanimator decks play Disc as their path. Are vampire trees allergic to garlic? I have a lot of questions. Good point. I'm going to grab an extra ifreet here, because my opponent's got kind of an aggressive start. I wonder if this is the person we played earlier that was on the tempo deck. That seems sweet. Yeah, they had 1 into 2. We were pretty lucky to be on the play this game, considering how slow our start was. Okay, well that's good for me. My 4/4s just get to smack them down here. So this gets to finish that off. And I don't think I want to put a second ifreet into play necessarily. Yeah, I'm actually gonna burn. I'm gonna burn Shopworn Wolf for now. And I'm gonna go ahead and put my giant over here across from their stealth minion. So this is a stealth minion. So I don't know exactly which 3-cost minion this is until it attacks or gets attacked or gets targeted by something. It's likely a 2/3 with teleport, then when it breaches it deals 2 damage to me. So if that's what it is, they could use their power to move this here and then hit me and kill this. It's likely Shinobi of Win, but not necessarily guaranteed to be that. Yep. Shinobi on Speedway. Yup. That's rough. Yikes. The two games we've played against this deck have not been close. Extract life would be great. Please and thank you. I'm gonna put Firesong out over here. I'm gonna smack their face for 7. So they can trade this here, then they could move this, Shinobi, hit me, hit this, but then they're no longer on the demolition speedway, so they don't get +2 attack anymore. Yes, they actually just straight up changed a bunch of cards in this patch. So they made cards from a variety of colors better, and they made cards different, and they made some cards worse. I don't know that I really need to suppress just a demolition speedway. Okay, so they gave them an extra standard action. Are they going to kill this now?
Yes. Brilliant.
That could have gone worse. That could have gone worse. They're down to 1 card here. I get to kill this. I get to burn my Panic Reader. And I get to extract life here. So I'm up to 9. They have 1 card. I've got Peri at the gates waiting to gas me up next turn. Purple and blue don't really have rush minions. So we could be in trouble, but we could also maybe be okay. We'll see.
Road.
Peri at the gates, yep.
Fortune favors us.
I guess I want a giant. I guess. Maybe I just wanted the other one so I could burn for an orange for this Guardian Angel next turn. Yeah, they have the 2-1 with Rush that disappears in a turn. They did. That was one of the changes.
Fire and stone.
Okay, I think I just burned this and then play the Guardian Angel. Maybe I'm even not supposed to play Guardian Angel in front of the Speedway. Wow, they're just on nothing. Okay, so let's put the wheel here to suppress this. Hit them, and then I think I burn Giant and put Unchained over here. We're able to stabilize this game nicely. The Storko hits them for 9. Though that's true. That's true. Sidecar was a card I wasn't thinking of. Sidecar is pretty good with the ninja as well, which is sweet.
Fire and stone.
I love the subtle animations that come off the enchantments in this game. Yeah. So this hits this and it hits that each other lane, so they take 6. Spoots bubbles. All right, I'm gonna do one more and then I'm gonna call it a night. Eat some dinner, pick Declan up from daycare. Think I'm gonna take all this weekend off. We'll see. We'll see what we're feeling like. Maybe we'll poke on for a Saturday night stream again after the kids go to bed. That was fun last week. I don't think Christy and I have plans for tomorrow night. Hang out with the kids during the day. Do a couple of magic decks and maybe some more Mythgard tomorrow night. He said list to people via in-game chat. I don't know the answer to that. This hand's super awkward because there's no cheap cards in it. So, like, if they're playing something aggressive, there's a chance I get run down here. So, I don't actually have to ask them for their deck list. There's a full replay client in this game extra. And when you open up the replay, you can see their deck list on the deck tracker. So, unfortunately, the deck tracker doesn't currently have an export button on it. That would be a good feature for them to add, but you could manually get their deck list off the deck tracker in the replay feature. Yeah, it takes a while. I agree. Hit a 3-drop here at least, so we'll get to do something next turn. Yeah, honestly, the lack of an export deck button from the replay client is like the first time I've like hit a thing and I'm like, oh, they didn't think of that. Like every time I'm like, oh, did they do X? It's like, yeah, they did it. All right, so I think I want to deploy my Shadow-worn Bull over here so it eats this 2-1. It won't be able to attack through because this den keeps making serpents every turn, but I think that's fine because I don't want to just keep taking licks from this over here. I don't know that they have any big minions, so let's just burn that for now. We'll play Shadow-worn Bull over, Shop-worn Bull over here. Let's draw a card and then put a card from our hand back into our deck every turn. I get rid of Ghul for now. A lot of chunky cards in our hand still, but we're getting to the point of the game where we can start playing those chunky cards out. Hey, Delta. Good evening. Catch us right at the tail end. If you think the game looks neat from the gameplay that you're seeing, my recommendation is definitely always just give the game a try. This game has one of the best tutorials of any game I've played. So I haven't done a strict how to play video for this game because The intro video is the intro to the actual game itself is so good. Wow, it gets +2/+2, and then the +2/+2 apparently it absorbs the damage on this. That's wild. Alright, so I'm gonna burn Dark Passenger here so I can get a second orange gem, because this card costs 4 and it costs explicitly 2 orange. So let's drop Peri over here so we can hopefully trade this for their 2/1 next turn. I'll take a Get an Angel, probably want that down the line. Red Carnival seems really good in conjunction with the Serpent Den, since the Serpent Den creates an endless stream of bodies. My opponent has a Rush minion here and is able to like play. Oh wait, crap! Wow, their list is really sweet because Maze is going. Maze is going to die and then make this big enough to kill this. Yikes. I'm gonna open up my own stream and see what the deck tracker looks like really quick. Is it a full tracker, or does it just show, does it like track my opponent's stuff too? You can even switch the POV and get the opponent's deck list. Neat. As they play cards out. So we took a little bit of damage there, but this turn actually ends up being pretty okay for us because I have this magmataur. So I'm gonna burn the giant here, and then magmataur deals damage to everything in the 3 lanes across from it.
Flame, take you.
So this comes in and kills both of those. Our health total's a little bit low and their health total's really high, but they're down to 5 cards in their hand, and I've got a bunch still, and a number of my cards generate more card advantage, so we should hopefully be okay here. Yeah, they've got a lot of neat synergies going on. I assume they play Panic Reader as well. Panic Reader's really good with this. Yeah, Magmataur, as far as Flame Tongue combos go, is like real good.
In the center ring.
This card's gotta go, chat. Listen, if you take one thing away from watching me play Mythgard on this stream, you should make it always kill the Dashing Ringmaster. Magmataur could potentially get more value later, but don't let that card live. You'll be very sad. The top left is the total resources. So you need both resources from your currently available resources plus a particular number of gems here. So this card requires 2 resources to play, and it requires you to have 2 orange gems available. It might have been worth it to seal the Ringmaster. Maybe, I don't really like sealing on turn 6. I feel like it's too early, especially with like Get an Angel and Cerberus in my hand. Yeah, it's a really elegant way to keep track of, resources without tapping, like, specific lands, right, for Magic. So, like, a good way to think about this card coming from Magic is kind of, it costs, like, 2 generic and 2 orange, kinda. The total of 4 requires you burn 2 orange cards. Cerberus normally ends games very quickly, but my opponent's currently at 39, so it's going to take a little bit. So this gets to Alpha Strike this down. Or does it? What if I play Scion and make this a 4/4? That's probably silly. I'm just going to play Cerberus over here. Just like try and close this game out. I'm going to burn this ifreet because my health total's a little bit low at this point. Playing the Cerberus out makes the Geddon Angel a little bit worse, I suppose. Next turn, I'll burn something and probably put like a giant over here and a giant over here. Yeah, the new Scourge of Serpents, like, this card's super playable now. The old one was not really, and this one does. You means in all three, they do, so it fights all three lanes.
I hunger.
Well, that's unfortunate. I guess I have Dark Passenger here, so this destroys the thing across from it, and then it's warded, so Geddon Angel won't kill this. Because it can't be damaged or destroyed outside of combat. Dark Passenger is a good way around it, though. So kill this, draw a card. Since they moved this over, I can slide this over this way. So that way this doesn't get attacked next turn. And I think now... I definitely want to burn a card. The question is, do I want to just play the giant out here to stem the bleeding? I think I need to play the giant to stem the bleeding.
Smash.
Yep, this game is free to play. It's on Android, iOS, Steam, Windows, Linux, OS X on Steam. Is it similar to Gigro? I don't know what Gigro is.
Let's feed.
Wanna burn?
I hope they ignition this over here. Rats. Huh. So, I get to put Stairway to Hades here. And then I can give this a move action. So I can move this and then attack here, which kills this. And when it comes back, it kills both of these with its trigger. I could attack this to their face for 7, but like they're at 39. So I'm just going to go ahead and slide to the left here and get a blocker in front of here. I think seems ideal. I don't really need to burn anything this turn, I don't think. I might still want all of these cards, so I'm going to do this and hang tight. Yeah, you could also just like play it in your web browser, which is kind of sweet, without installing anything if you have a desktop computer. Yeah, they gained a ton of life from their Strogi pup on the Red Carnival earlier. Everybody clap your hands. Do, 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 do.
Flame.
Magmataur killed by Magmataur. Yep. Next turn's probably going to be Geddon Angel turn. I can deploy Geddon Angel onto the stairway here. So I'm going to kill this with the giant, so that way Geddon Angel loses one less. And I think I'm going to go ahead and burn Panic Reader at this point. They get a snake back here, but if they kill my stairway, if they kill it on the stairway, it pops back up, which is nice. Other people that have played the game as free to play have said that it feels fairly generous for free to play. I whale at all of my games and just buy booster packs when I dive into them, so as a whale, it feels reasonable. Alright, so I think I just sealed to exile this because it draws a card otherwise. I'm going to go ahead and burn Eager Recruit. I'm going to go ahead and play Peri out over here.
Fortune favors us.
I think I want Panic Reader to draw some more cards at this point. They're at just infinite life, unfortunately. I'm going to go ahead and slide this over and attack their face. Leaving the angel on the stairway is actually kind of a liability. Because, like, they could kill this to wrath the board at any point, which I might not necessarily want. Hey, thanks for the 2 months, Bite Burger. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Sure, a top hat and a monocle while we play. Yeah, if you're interested in, if you find the game interesting and you're interested in looking for more content too, just like all the other games that I stream, everything ends up on my YouTube channel and my website. Under the videos section, there's a Mythgard category, and I cut everything up by deck. As a heads up, they did drop a pretty significant rebalance for a number of cards today. So some of the deck lists that I've played in the past won't necessarily be as good. Some might be better, I guess. But they won't be exactly, the cards that you'll see in the past videos won't be exactly the same as what you'll see in Client today. Second Serpent Den, Vomit.
Wanna burn?
Okay, so this, actually, am I just Seal of Exiling Serpents this turn? Is that crazy? Just like getting my hit in? I feel like that's not crazy. It gets in for 10. And then I can Panic Reader here in the middle and hit their maze, which prevents them from drawing next turn. Maybe I'm supposed to keep my ignition so I can ignition this and hit them. Although I guess I can just trade this off here, right? And then it pops back up. One of the things to know about this game is that extract life works differently than you would expect it to work in coming from Magic. So you can't deal damage that things don't have toughness for. So for this card, for example, you cannot... what's the word I'm searching for? You cannot gain more than 1 if something only has one life. Play Scion here in the middle. You don't gain extra for overkill. Yeah, the buff is till end of turn, so whenever another minion dies, it gets bigger temporarily. Slide this over, I think, and just pass. So those snakes were blighted, so they went away. This has Overrun, actually, so this might be one of our tickets to closing this game out. I didn't move this over to the stairway because I really don't want this to come back and kill both my other things at the moment. This game swung back around to being close because the cards that are in my hand are kind of medium at this point. Both Extract Life's not looking particularly stellar. Could really use a Panic Reader or a Peri at the gates. Both my Peris are in here though, right? Through one Panic Reader. It's possible that the way I used this Panic Reader was wrong because of how low on resources I was running. Oh, I could have extracted the Chonky Snake just to gain a bunch of life. That might have actually been a good play. I didn't think about that. That's a good suggestion. Third Serpent Den, gross. Oh, I could have Pride of the Palace, my Angel. That's an interesting thought. I didn't think about that. I'm gonna slide these down, I think.
The good life.
The good life. It's supposed to be Pride of the Palace or Pride of the... Pride of Place? I don't know, actually. Maybe, I guess I'd be surprised if that's a typo. We're slowly whittling them back down. The piles of life they gained to start this game, definitely keeping them in this longer than they otherwise would have been. Okay, there's a Panic Reader. So what do I want to do here? How do I want to sequence? So this can attack twice because it is frenzy. So I can have this attack here. And then I can have this attack here and then attack their face. And if I play Panic Raider in the middle,
Got anything good?
I can play Eager Recruit over here.
Reporting.
I can play another the Parasol Recruit over here. And then we can extract life here. And then hit this and draw a card. Okay? This has been a heck of a game. Yeah, I think we are definitely ahead at the moment. I don't think the game's just over for my opponent because they could have a card like that, which is going to kill everything. Oh, what's left in my deck? Because I'll have half my deck. What do we got? I have an oak. I'm actually out of a lot of my card advantage. I have a ringmaster plus a 7-ring ritual that could maybe get us through. Proxy on stairway is good. For sure. They could hit this for 3 and then they could ignition it. But like, as long as this hangs out on the stairway, we're gonna be fine. Everything else I have is dying because it's all blighted. This is a really good draw. As long as this is occupied, all of these get suppressed. So if I can keep a unit here, these things don't put more snakes out. Which is real good. Forces them to, like, actually commit more resources to keep the board in check. Depending on how the format shifts, I could see playing 2 or even 3 wheels being correct. 3's probably wrong. Like in the rain root control deck I play 2 cards that interact with enchantments, and it's pretty correct. Why did I use Ignition to kill the snake instead of the 1/5? Because I'm dumb. Because I've been live for almost 9 hours. I had in my head that this had to attack here for no good reason. Really want to draw any minion next turn, so that way I can deploy something here. That is so super unfortunate. So I can't slide this over because then they'll ignition it and it'll die to the blight, and then it won't come back. So they get their snakes back. It's been good today, Div. I agree. Looking through all the changes they made, I think they made a lot of reasonable changes. Yeah, the fact that all their snakes are 2/2s now is not great for us. I don't have that many bombs left in my deck, honestly. I'm also basically out of, I've got 1 Panic Raider for card advantage is all I've got left. So this is gonna die and then come back as a 4/9. And then I can take this and slide it over. So this has warded now, which is also very good. It has warded and regenerate. This card's like gonna be a monster. It's like warded, frenzy, regenerate 2. think I probably should have just done this last turn. I'm gonna exile a random thing from their bin, because why not? I think I should have done that last turn, probably. They already played a gigantomachia this game, right? They did not. Did they burn one of those? They could still have another sweeper. Yeah, this card's super reasonable. Especially with the stairways. Like to Hades and to Heaven and back, just like, has a lot of staying power. I feel like we should have an advantage from this position because it doesn't seem like their deck has a ton of top end in it. So they could like smash this into here, slide this over. Oh, another. That's really good. So this can eat this now. They can't quite kill this unless they have a rush minion. They could kill this potentially. Next turn, this guy's getting his ass over to Heaven and back square. Oh, we got to draw an extra card this turn. That's so good. All right, so I'm gonna go kill this snake, slide this over to here, play Eager Recruit here to keep these down. Put Shopworn Bull here. This was actually just absurd 2 cards. And this lets me draw a card, and then I can put back this created card, and it just disappears. So, like, that combination together gives me a free roll, which is great. And I think I'm just going to deploy this guy over here, because I could pry to palace up one of these next turn. So if they kill this, which they can snake it plus ignition it, it then comes back to my hand as an angel, which is sick. No, Mythgard Blood Boon is very different. What does it do? I think it gives your things life gain. It gives them life tap, and until end of turn, when they die, draw a card. And I'm still at 18 here, so even if they take this off the table and it comes back to my hand, they can't kill me this turn, so it's not a big deal. I believe the angel keeps frenzy. I believe it'll just be like Super Saiyan, like frenzy, agile, +1/+1. And then we'll like drop it here and it'll be warded on top of all of that. We have another medium card in my hand to get rid of with the Shopworn Bull, so we effectively get to draw 2 cards again next turn. This game felt really close for a little bit, but I believe we're fully turning the corner at this point.
Flame, take you.
You cannot. Yeah, so it keeps all the types. Yeah, so it's agile, frenzy, regen here, which is sick. That's an oak. All right. So let's start by drawing a card, throwing back the created one. So I'm going to put oak here so it can come back later. And then I'm going to say, you smack in here. They take 1 from this. You smack in here. They take 1 again. You smack in here to finish. Deploy my Super Saiyan in the middle. This came back, so I get to use it again. So I get to deploy this here. And then I get to use this to effectively draw a card again. We're up to 21 from the triggers on the tree. If they kill the tree, it's going to come back as an angel. And when this is an angel, this gains agile, and agile lets you attack past blockers. So this is 10 unblockable coming in next turn. Yeah, the turn where this triggered and we hit Shopworn Bull plus Eager Recruit was really the tipping point in this game. Like rolled right on over into like being firmly in control. Yeah, both staircases are like pretty unbeatable end game value if you can't interact with enchantments. Give their minions life tap and demise, draw a card. Yep. They killed my tree, which lets me draw a card. I would love a Panic Raider to draw more cards. It's my Vampire Flora Angel. And now I can deploy the Vampire Flora Angel onto the Stairway to Hades, so it can come back again. Do 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 do. Hit your face. Hit your face. Their artifact loses a thing because it's great. Hit your face. Play Panic Raider. Hit your face. I don't think I missed lethal here. Could have done a little bit more with the Pride of the Palace. Put Okdana here. Put the ifreet here. We're high enough life total when we have this in place. We should be good on the ifreet. Ringmaster, yep. I would like some minions with rush. Let's go. Alright, this should be over next turn. But they don't have Gigametra. If they have Gigametra, they'll clear out all three of these, and then maybe we could die. But if they don't have Giga, we should be good to go. Yeah, the Wings of Abaddon change I like a lot. It makes Midrange red better, which I think is sweet. Makes it a more controlling, less all-in aggressive card. So Proxy's warded, but warded doesn't stop banish effects. So Giga banishes everything with 4 health or more. So if they hit a Giga, it would banish all 3 of these. So you can deck in this game. When you go to draw a card but can't, you take damage similar to how Hearthstone works. Only it increases faster, so there's no like tedious control warrior. So when you're decking in this game, you take 1, then 2, then 4, then 8, then 16. Serpents have deadly. Yeah, that's one way to clear that out. My tree came back. Still has agile, still has frenzy, so. Hada! Really sweet game where we ended up really showing that late game power of both the stairways going on there. This enchantment, the wheel keeping these 2 enchantments suppressed was also a super big deal there. Yeah, opponents deck had some neat synergies going on. We were able to stabilize a little bit quickly. This deck's still very good. I think we went 5-0 with it last time. We went 5-1 with it today, even after the balance patch changes. I'm not 100% sure that ifreet is good in this deck anymore, just because we're losing a little bit more life drawing cards with Panic Raider. But a 4/4 stat line for 3 is still pretty good. I think worth testing in this deck is probably they buffed the goat. So this card gives minions in the opposing 3 lanes -1 attack and gives them fragile 1 now as well. So this card's a reasonable board control card. Seems potentially okay. I think honestly, because we were talking about Wings being more of a control card now. I think this card might actually be good in here. There's a chance this card is just like better than the cyclopean giant. This is another card I've been a little bit middling on. This is another card I'd probably test in here. At any rate, that's going to be it for me for today, folks. I'm not sure when exactly I'm going to be back. Definitely Monday at the latest. Might sneak on tomorrow night for a bit. We'll see what the plans are with the family. I'm going to go ahead and hit one more ad roll as I sign off so I can meet my quota for the day. So done with content, but I'll catch all of y'all later. Everybody have a good one. Enjoy the start to your weekend.